You see me, I say, so we are changing the dancehall thing from the 1, 2, 3 thing and I just take it back to the level where Aidonia level. You see me, I say.
Aidonia is a coward and dancehall knows Aidonia is a coward. Them you to a bad man the thing and want to stop the thing with this track. He said, don't play Masicka.
Like for most of the time, it was like him have vibes with himself because me never there pre in that way they shape or form.
Massacre and Idonia was said to have a beef in a dancehall. But what really happened? Did they really have a beef? And how comes if Aidonia is Massicka's idol, how comes he became his rival?
Yo, one of these here dancehall, link Entourage Records. One of the talk I turn in dancehall, link Entourage Records. Your Entourage, the meeting I eat from man, your ruggedness.
Bless up, and welcome back to Entourage Records. You're new via here, please consider subscribing. Turn on your post notification bell so whenever I make a new upload, you can be the first to be notified. Well, Masicka and Aidonia had a long-standing beef according to what we saw out there from around 2014-15 forward all the way up to about 2022, 2023, somewhere around there before we saw where they link up. But how this thing all started after Masicka in an embryo stage forward out and say Aidonia is one of his influences. That means Aidonia I wanna him idol.
My influence is in the music industry now. As we can use Percy too, Bounty Killer. You see me, I say, Vibes Cartel, Aidonia. You see me, them man they really influence Masicka.
Enough people from Masicka just forward out, link him to Aidonia, compare him to Aidonia, say this is a young Aidonia because of basically the theme style and all that. Aidonia even say 4th Jenna, Masicka forward and say him are the young Jenna. But what really happened here? And at this Entourage, I go break it down and tell you now what really go on right here. So Masicka forward at the game, and to his fortunate, he forward with a good manager, Corey Todd. Corey trying just about every single thing with Masicka. Masicka find hardball and bust the cylinder, and it do well for him as a young youth a forward at the game, but it did not do enough for him as one that want. So Corey go on one whole heap of advertising campaign with Masicka, put him in a one whole heap of gold chain, make it seem like him boss already. Gold chain cost millions. So Masicka get him to interview them with ER and Wilfred Williams, even though ER put him on this spot and say, yo, nothing not really go on for me, not hear a song for you. How comes you have all these things? So Masicka gives the impression like him out there and whatever the case may be. So Corey tried to push Masicka's career as best as possible. Him even link him up with Subconscious crew, Conscience, where Conscience did sign him to his label and I try so I could have do for him. Even that did not work. So even though he never get the big boss for him that I look for, the songs them when him do, did I do little things for him, but probably that wasn't good enough. So he was trying to find some other way where he could have bore himself in the dancehall space. Him start trying him hands at different songs, but it just never did that work. So Masicka started to go at different arts that dancehall. He figured that if he pick power artist or any artist where a stream, artist where name up there, him figure say this will make him name call up and get him the recognition where him actually I look for. So the concept was, if you war with an artist, he must bust. So him team up with Kaleido and add a fake beef to try see if this could have pushed him through the door. So after this move with Kaleido backfire, especially after Kaleido had found out and said the beef was fake. Because it did not give him that spot that I look for, he went directly at Aidonia. But not only he went directly at Aidonia, he made up a story on Aidonia as if they were having a beef or as if Aidonia had done something to him.
I understand Aidonia is a coward and Dancehall knows Aidonia is a coward. Them youth a bad man the thing and want to stop the thing whatever this track said don't play Masicka.
So Masicka crafted, and that me say, so Masicka crafted a story about Aidonia and what Aidonia did and all these things, where Aidonia never yet met Masicka before. So he crafted this plan to go after Aidonia, where he was trying to make his idol his rival. But it looked like it was working because Dancehall was buying it into it big time. Said Masicka and Aidonia is at war. But we in Dancehall never really know the whole gist. We don't know exactly what kick off this and what start this, none at all. But Aidonia upon a recent interview, him forward and him said something. In other words, he must say it was a lie. Masicka did that tell all along. It worked for some people and it not work for some other people. But him never want to take on the negativity at the time.
But if you notice, him say several things, but me just never,
Yeah, you
follow
know,
it
respond,
up.
yeah.
You know them type of way.
But you must hear them and feel that way.
Yeah, we hear them. You know them type of way there, and but me just never feel the need for follow it up. Clear up the image, dog. Too much of them negativity. So whole lot of things. So like for most of the time, it was like him have a vibes with himself.
The Aidonia basically clarify and say Masicka did have a vibe with himself. Him hear the things them, but there's so much negativity going at the time where him did want to clear up for him image and him never want him nor film brand to align them things there. So him hear it, but him just drown it out. Him leave it alone, make Masicka go and do film thing. Him also say, yo, this did work for enough people as well as enough people that work for. In other words, him must say, Masicka did tell a lie to get him foot in.
Because me never there pre, that way there and shape our farm. No time because me must say a whole heap of man call Aidonia name. Some work, some no work.
Yeah.
He was just one of the lucky ones who work. But you don't know you're a big artist, man say things about you because you don't know you. He had to do what he had to do.
But during the time of the so-called beef, nobody knew what was going on except for Masicka and Aidonia, because Aidonia did address it. We can even go back to this other youth here with Alkaline. What is the name again? When him found out and said all these things. But nobody knew at the time, at first, said he make up the story, said him and Alkaline a friend and all these things, and him right for Alkaline. This was a similar story. So Masicka craft out his plan, where it seems like him have a beef with Aidonia. But not only that, him also say some things about Aidonia, which Aidonia I got clarify. It kind of work, but like the whole thing there, I just one thing they kind of pre, I just want lie where they kind of out there, about Aidonia, but the whole thing there where the vibes create and a corruption, but you never want to get into that.
What was the lie? Say you did a fight him out?
Yeah,
that was a thing that was being
so that never make no sense. That never make no sense because we don't know you. And Aidonia, as me say, Aidonia work with himself and for himself.
So me get up from this. Aidonia say there was no beef to begin with because first thing, me not even did know Masicka. Yes, as a big artist, other artists have to do what they have to do and call up other artists' name. That me understand. But as far as things where me never like is when him go ahead and tell lie. So me a fight against him or we don't want other producers to vice him. As you don't know, say, we only work with a selected few people. Only a few people can vice one Aidonia. So what him did say at the time basically was corruption. But not many people or many artists would have made these things slide because even in the media, they would have forward out and say some things. Imagine a person will idolize you forward in the game and say you a fight against him. But after him could not get you to respond, after you have fired all these shots at him in a songs, you then forward for interview and you call him coward. You call him lazy. You say him not no good work ethic. I'm not up to par. And just say a bag of things about him. Basically, if you bring him down and making yourself look good worse. Masicka realized at the time, say, I do not answer. I do not pay him no mind. So it was like a free roll, like a free shot. You know them cheap shot that people take at people where you know say, no matter what I say, I'm not going to answer. So I can go on an interview and spill all these rumors and spill all these lies about him and towards him and even make remarks about him freely. And for all the dancehall fans who think a joke me make, remember DeMarco, when DeMarco said him and Masicka buck up after both of them performance and turn to Masicka and say, what you did, brother? What you call up my name? What you say all these things about me? And he said, Masicka turned to him and said, my youth, I want rich like Onuto, so it's not personal. The whole of dancehall took this so serious, and enough of them did believe in a Masicka. Even when Masicka forward for another interview and talk about how much in a flag Aidonia right now pan spot and how much him no rate Aidonia because of what Aidonia did to him. But this was a ploy all along to get his name out there. Whereas most of us in dancehall, well, when I said that's about all of us in dancehall, except probably a select few, would have known that this whole story was concocted. But we see the history with Masicka from Kaledo. We see the history with Masicka from Bonup. We see the history with Masicka with Aidonia. We see the history with Masicka even up to right now when it came to Skeng, where Masicka tell vloggers about their mother. After he fire shots over Skeng side, then denied that he did fire shot. But when Skeng them answer, it proved that Masicka wasn't telling the truth. So we see the history. Masicka, bad artist, and that dancehall can't deny. But we went back in time. We went back in history and we saw where Aidonia spoke and told us exactly that Masicka and him had no beef, no chicken, no oxtail, no tripe and bean or nothing. It's just an artist who was trying to get himself through the door, and regardless whether he was his idol, he tried to make him his rival. But he did it in a way where he was telling lies on him. If you are the subscribers, want to leave a thoughts, want to leave a comment in the comment section so we can talk about it. We've got another video. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, those who have done so as yet. Also, please turn on your post notification bell so whenever I make a new upload, you can be the first to be notified. Peace out, bless up. I'll definitely catch you in the next one.